Good afternoon, everybody. This is Andrew Rodman with Western Marketing. First and foremost, I wanted to thank everybody for taking time out of their day to attend this webinar and learn a little bit more about a company that we've been doing business with for a while now, United National Life, and they've got a niche product that we're going to highlight today. It's their dental plan. So if you guys are watching this maybe on a recorded version that's here, you do have Hunter's information with UNL down there at the bottom. I will give you my contact information and our office's contact information at the end of this as well. So any questions you might have, definitely reach out to us. We're here to help and support you guys. So, as a value add, we try to find niche products that work really well, not on just a small local basis, but on a national basis. And this is why we're bringing Hunter Gordy in with United National Life. Great products, but also great service. Met Hunter, just this last weekend down in Kansas City. Truly a really good guy and a guy that you'd want to have in your back corner, fighting for you on a daily basis. So, Hunter, I'm going to kick it over to you. I want you to talk a little bit about United National Life, and then let's get in this dental plan and show it why it's different than a lot of the other plans in the industry. So appreciate your time today, Hunter.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Yeah, so first and foremost, you see my contact there, as Andrew mentioned. That's my cell phone number. Feel free to call me if you have any questions. I am the Vice President of Sales at UNL. Essentially, I'm the one running the company. I'm doing all the back office stuff, but what I love is sales. And so I like talking to agents. I used to be an agent, have done what you've done, knocked on a million doors, made a million phone calls. So I understand what you're going through on a day in and day out basis. So I'm here to help. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Do not hesitate. So yes, as Andrew mentioned, today we're going to talk about our Dental 2.0 plan. But before we get into that, I kind of wanted to just highlight the other plans that we have. So at UNL, we have 6 products. We have 6 plans. We like to keep it simple. We actually trademarked protect the gaps. That is what we are here to do. We are here to protect the gaps of Medicare. And so every single product that you see up there has the potential, if somebody's on an MA plan and even a Med Sup, there's the potential where they could have high out-of-pocket expenses, and you could fill those gaps with these plans to help protect your client. So we do have a nice hospital indemnity plan. It's called our UNL Hospital Indemnity Shield. It's a fully underwritten hospital indemnity. That's one of the least expensive options in the market, and it has some really cool riders that go along with it. We've got a cancer lump sum rider, a cool terminal illness rider, an accident rider, and then we literally just added late last week a $5,000 final expense certificate that it goes along with the hospital indemnity. So if they apply and get underwritten and get approved for their hospital indemnity plan, they will have the option at the end of that e-app to select a pre-approved $5,000 final expense plan. So really cool, innovative stuff that we're doing. We have a home health care plan, one of the best in the market. If used correctly, if your client's taking prescription drugs, they can almost pay for the entire annual premium with that benefit. We have a new guaranteed issue hospital indemnity plan, which for those who can't qualify for the underwritten plan, they can get a guaranteed issue plan, and that is aged 64 to 85. So very, very wide range. We also have a cancer plan that is awesome. It's a scheduled benefit plan that has a lump sum rider. When you combine them, sell it as a package deal, they get the best of both worlds. They get a nice schedule that's never going to run out, but they also get that lump sum upon first diagnosis. So really cool options out there for you. But today, what we're going to concentrate on is our UNL Dental Shield 2.0. Now, I will say this before I get into the plan. I always mention cross-selling. Cross-selling, in my opinion, is the single most important thing that you can do as an insurance agent. When you think about it. Your clients don't know what they don't know. They don't teach people how to retire. So when you're talking to these to your individuals, if you're not bringing up the gaps in Medicare, if you're not cross-selling, you're not doing your job. You are leaving them in a position where they could have high out-of-pocket expenses. So we have to cross-sell because number one, it's going to help your client. Your clients don't know what they don't know. You've got to educate them, present the facts to them, and then have them make the decision. But also, you're going to increase your persistency and protect your renewals. there's a 30, many people, I always say there's the 30, 60, 90 rule. If you have one plan in a home, you have a 30% chance of keeping that client for life. Not very good odds. Once you put 2 plans in that home, you have a 60% chance of keeping that client for life. And then when you have 3 or more plans in a home, that number jumps up to 90%. So when you cross-sell, you help your clients, you increase your persistency, and then you're going to make some extra money while you do it. So very, very important. Every single home you're in, you want to make sure you educate them, create the need, show them the gaps, and then protect those gaps. Because if all you're doing is enrolling them in a MedSup or an MA, you're just a salesperson. We don't want to be just known as a salesperson. We want to be their insurance agent. And that's what happens when you start putting multiple plans in the home. So let's get into our Dental Shield 2.0. Now, before I talk about it, I'm going to just talk about dental insurance in general. So if you think about insurance and you think about what type of insurance plans are out there, you have homeowners insurance, you have auto insurance, you have cancer insurance, you have hospital indemnity insurance. All these different insurance plans that you can get, you buy those hoping that you never have to use them. You don't go and buy a cancer plan hoping you get diagnosed with cancer, right? You don't buy a homeowner's plan hoping your house gets hit by a tornado. But you buy dental insurance to use it. And I mention that because if you're doing an excellent job of cross-selling and you put 2, 3, 4 plans in that home, the first plan that they're probably going to use is the dental plan. And so if you put a bad dental plan in a home and that's the first one that they use, they are going to call you up. They're not going to trust you. They're going to cancel that plan, and then they're going to cancel every other plan that you put in that home because the first one they went to use was no good. And so I know when I was an agent, and this is years ago, I almost every house I went into, they always asked, "You got any dental insurance?" And I would always say, "I got it, but you don't want it because most of it's crap," right? Nowadays, there's a lot of good options out there. And I love our new dental plan. We launched this last year. And I'm gonna highlight this plan now. So we all know you need people need dental work, right? The heart disease, all that stuff that's linked to dental, having poor dental is out there. So we know we have to put dental in homes. People need to get their dental work done. And how is our plan different than most plans out there? So we pay 80% of actual charges. Okay, I say that and you're thinking, yeah, of course. How else would you pay? Well, a lot of plans out there aren't paying on what the policyholder actually spends. They're paying on something called usual, customary, and reasonable charges. What does that mean? Who makes that number up? That is a number that is made up by the insurance carrier that says a procedure should cost X amount. Well, unfortunately, that number is always less than what they actually spend. So on ours, we pay 80% of what you actually spend. So if you spend $1,000 on a root canal, we're going to pay you 80%. If you spend $1,200 on a root canal, we're going to pay you 80%. We don't care what the usual, customary, and reasonable charges are because we are paying on what you actually spend. We are also paying 80% automatically, right? Once you've hit your waiting periods, which I will go over here in a second, we will pay you 80% from day one. We're not doing this tiered approach where we say 80%, but you only get 80% on basic, right? And you may get 50 or 60% on major. That's not what we do. We pay 80% year one and forever on what you actually spend. Now, there is a once annual $100 deductible. So the first time every year that you file, the first $100 will go towards that deductible. We have 3 different options, a $1,000, $2,000, and $3,000 benefit plan. In Nebraska, it goes up to $5,000, but every other state, $3,000 is our max. And then here's where it's huge. We have no networks. How is that possible? How do you have no networks? Well, we are a reimbursement plan. It's an indemnity plan, meaning you can go to any dentist in the United States, get the bill, send it to us, and we will pay you directly. So you get that money, and then you can pay your dentist. Now, you might be saying, well, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just have the money go directly to the dentist. Well, many dentists you can assign the benefits to if that's a problem. You could ask the dentist, and you can assign the benefits to them, or you can tell them what you have, what kind of plan you have, and they'll be like, okay, that's fine. Just pay me once you get that money. We get that situation all the time. So you have no networks. Also, what does that mean? We don't care what other coverage they have. So they could have coverage through their Medicare Advantage plan. They can go to that dentist, get the bill before they take out the discounts, send it to us, and we will pay on the full amount, right? They could have another dental plan. We don't care. We get the bill, we see how much they spend or how much they have to spend, and we cut a check for 80% of that. I'll get into the waiting periods in a second. Before I do want to mention that we also have no inside limits. You probably have never heard about inside limits. You probably are not aware that all the dental plans out there have inside limits on them. What does that mean? Well, it may mean that you can only get 2 fillings per year, or you can get 1 root canal over a 3-year period, or 1 crown over a 2-year period. They all have inside limits. Look into the outline of coverage, look into the fine print. Before you sell a dental plan, understand what those inside limits are. With our plan, you do not have to worry about that. We have no inside limits. So let's say you've hit your waiting periods for your major stuff, and you want to go get 2 root canals in 1 year. And it's, let's just for easy math, let's say they're $1,500 each. Well, right there, you can use your entire $3,000 benefit plan on those 2 root canals. And then next year, you could do the same thing. We don't care. We have no inside limits, meaning whatever you need work done, you don't have to worry about not having to be able to get it because of these small print inside limit restrictions. You don't have to worry about that with our plan. Now, waiting periods. So we do have we have 0 waiting periods for your preventative X-rays and your 2 dental cleanings. And when it comes to dental cleanings, we're not paying 80%. We're just paying up to $100 each time you get your teeth cleaned. So you don't have to worry about the 80% there. It's just up to $100. So if you spend $75 on a cleaning, we will pay you $75. If you spend $100 on a cleaning, we'll pay you $100. If you spend $125 on a cleaning, we'll pay you $100. So it's up to $100. After 6 months, you can use it for your basic dental care. That's your fillings, your problem-focused X-rays, your non-surgical tooth extractions, your palliative care. And then after 12 months, it's your non-cosmetic dental care is covered. So that's your bridges, your crowns, your dentures, your root canals, outpatient surgery, full mouth extractions, etc. So, and that's pretty standard. 30, no waiting period for your preventative, 6 month for your basic, and 12 month for your major. Now, these rates, I have them up here, and this is just your basic state rate. So depending on what state you're in, they may be a little bit different, but not by much. You're looking at 18 to 18. You can go down as low as 18 to get this plan, and you have issue age with these rates. So if you get the $3,000 benefit level at age 18, you're going to pay $30.68. Say you keep this plan forever, you will continue to pay $30.68 the entire time that you have this plan. Doesn't matter how old you are. Now, let's just say you're talking to a 65-year-old and they want coverage and they want the $3,000 benefit level. It's going to be somewhere around $54.25. Now, look at that $2,000 benefit level for a 65-year-old. You're looking at $49.75. So literally, for $4.50, you can get them an extra $1,000 in coverage. I point that out to say I would always, always, always present the $3,000 option, because the monthly premiums are just not that much more. It doesn't make sense to sell them on a $1,000 or $2,000 plan when it costs just a few bucks more for the full $3,000. So, Andrew, I just went over the plan pretty, it's a pretty easy plan to understand. What I will say this is when it comes to dental, when you're talking about our product, you do not have to worry about your client not understanding it. You don't have to worry about them thinking they have an 80% plan when really that 80% is only on basic and it doesn't get there until year 3, right? You don't have to worry about them having to worry about inside limits. There's no tricks with our plan. It is as simple as we are going to pay you after you hit your waiting periods. We will pay you 80% of what you spent, and you can go to any dentist in the United States. You got any feedback, Andrew?
Yeah,
You got any questions?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. And that's, Hunter, why I wanted to bring this plan up is, we've got a lot of different dental plans out there, and there's a ton of them that you can really get down and dirty with, and they might be the best one for that client, maybe for that specific scenario. But let's face it, dental needs to be simple. Okay. When, like you said, if you got 80% of this, 70% of that, the clients, you may present it to them at the time of the sale, but when they go to utilize it, a lot of times that goes out the window, and they don't really know what they had, and then they get surprised. This dental plan that you have with UNL is just, it is what it is, and you get what you get off of what you see. I mean, you get your $100 when you get your cleaning, up to $100 when you get your preventative, and then once you hit those waiting periods, it's 80%. And that's pretty simple math. Somebody can do that on their phone and the calculator. But if my bill is $1,000, I can count on getting $800 back.
That's exactly
the other
right.
thing about it, is.
Go ahead. Sorry, Andrew.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say that,
I was going to expand on that real quick. That's exactly right. Like, yeah. It doesn't matter what, you could be presenting another plan, and you can explain to them exactly what the reimbursement percentage is, and you can explain to them that it's only 50% on major, but it goes up to 80% after a certain amount of years. All they're going to hear is 80%, and they're going to instinctively think that if they spend $1,000, they're going to get $800 back. But if they go and they're not at that 80% yet because it's only year 2, and they spent $1,500, but the usual customary and reasonable charge was only $1,000, then they may be getting $600 back because they were getting 60% on 1,000 instead of they thought they were going to get 80% on 1,500. And it's just going to make them mad. They're going to cancel that. And they're going to cancel every other plan that you put in that home.
Yeah. Even you talking about just all those numbers and throwing that out there. I mean, we're insurance agents and we work in the insurance field every single day. That right there just sounds confusing to me. Yeah. So you imagine what your clients are feeling when they don't even really know what dental plan they currently have or what they're going to be purchasing. I mean, it's simple. $100 when you go get your cleaning, up to it, 80% after, basically you just say after the 6 month or a year mark. And that's what you're going to get coverage for. The actual charges is a big thing as well. I mean, just whatever they get billed, because if you go to dentists all across the United States, I mean, in Iowa, we're pretty cheap here when it comes to dental. You go down to Florida, go down to Miami, they charge a boatload more. So, that usual and customary changes all over the place on a national basis. So just knowing that whatever your bill is, you get that 80%, boom, it's done. It's nice and easy. You made a comment when we kind of first started, just education and cross-selling. Yes, and between insurance agent and insurance agent, it is cross-selling, but it's cross-educating. You made the comment, our clients only know what they know, but if you don't bring it up to them, if you don't talk to them about it, whether it's a simple dental plan, cancer, hospital indemnity, short-term care, long-term care, all that stuff, a lot of people don't even know that they can get coverage for it, or that, what's the best policy for them. So, Hunter and I, we're both really passionate about that. Number one reason why agents don't present it is just that they're not educated themselves.
Yep.
That's what our job is to do, is to help educate anybody that wants to take that leap of faith that, hey, I'm going to educate my clients better, to reach out to us and say, hey, we're here to help you. So then you can better help your clients, and guess what? In return, you're going to make a boatload more money.
That's it. You got to have
Hunter,
confidence. At the end of the day, you got to have confidence, right? I mean, the state that you are licensed in has deemed you a professional. Every single home that you go into, you are going to know infinitely more about health insurance than the person you're talking to, right? So have that confidence. The state has given you that license, so have that confidence. Go in there with confidence, educate them, because they don't know what they don't know. And if you don't tell them, and then something comes up and happens to them where they could have had coverage, but they didn't because you didn't educate them, that is on you, the insurance agent. So make sure you're educating them, showing them where the holes are, giving them options to protect those gaps, and put it on them to make that choice. That way, it's not your fault if they choose not to buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I know I always kind of utilize too, and this is more on just the sales side of it, is, once you get comfortable with these products and you're presenting it to it, not everybody's going to take it. And that's okay. Not everybody can afford to buy those extra plans and have that extra coverage, but at least, like Hunter said, you did your job as an educator, as a professional, and offered it to them. Another thing we do is teach a lot of agents, just when they do their review with their clients, they bring this up, is just have a simple declination of coverage, which just basically says, I was presented these products by Hunter or by Andrew, and at this time, I wish not to purchase them. Does two things for you guys, and you actually have them sign it. Does two things. If they didn't listen to your presentation at all, they're going to listen to you now because they're stroking their name on a piece of paper saying, I don't want something. So it gives you a chance to go back and actually represent if they don't want to put it on there, or figure out what the problem is, or if it's price or whatever it is. And fine, they don't want it. They sign it. That's great. Well, guess what? We're going to go do another annual review or a biannual review, and we're going to bring that out again. And here's this piece of paper of what you did not want at this time, and ask them if they could actually use that in the last 6 months or a year, that they did not have that coverage, or maybe they're interested at that time too. We got a couple of questions here, Hunter, real quick on the plan itself with dental, if you're okay with that, if you've got a little bit more time here. So the plan itself, is it a policy year plan or is it a calendar year plan?
It's a calendar year plan. So
calendar year.
Yeah, so that deductible will reset at the beginning of every year.
Okay, beginning of every year. So that's important to know. But like the waiting periods, the 6 months and 12 months, that's from the policy effective date. So if
Correct.
we had a June 1 effective date, they will get, coverage for that major service as of June 1 of next year.
Correct. Okay. Yep.
Cool. So since it's a reimbursement plan that's there to get a claim paid, how quick are you guys paying claims once all the documentation is submitted to you?
Yes,
on average?
Yes. So we average 5 to 7 business days. So that's really important. Industry standard is about double that. That's important because if you put this on your credit card, you will have the money from us before that credit card statement is due. Or if you talk to your dentist, you can be like, listen, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to have this money in my hands. I will pay you then. Dentists are going to work with you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. When we're doing enrollments with this, we've got both paper and e-application access.
Yep, you can do. There's three ways to submit applications. So number one, you can just go to our agent portal, unlinsurance.com. You click on agents, you log into your portal. You can access the app there, or you can download the e-app off of your Google Play or Apple Store. Or if you're still old school and you want to do paper, you can always do a paper app. And the key here is signatures, right? So there's a couple different ways we can capture your signature through the e-app or the portal. And if you have a touchscreen device, we can capture the signature on that touchscreen device. Or if you're remote, you can do a text to sign or a voice verification. And the best way to do that is through the portal. And lastly, obviously, you can do a paper app and just capture the signature on the paper.
Perfect. That sounds good. Contracting wise, I've got our screen pulled up here for Western Marketing. If you guys do need a contract and aren't set up with United National Life, phone number's right there, the 800-852-7152. Email address, you can email either our info@wmacorp.com. My contact information is just andrew@wmacorp.com. Same number, 800-852-7152. Contracting time turnarounds, anywhere from 2 to 5 business days most of the time, right, Hunter?
Yeah, we're really quick.
Yep, really quick. So, and you get access to the whole suite of products that are there. If you're life and health license, of course you get the life, but if you're health only, you've got a lot of different options to be able to protect your client and educate your client better. So,
yeah, when it comes to UNL, every single house that you're in, there is an opportunity to put one of our products in that home. It doesn't matter how sick they are. Anybody can get a dental plan. Anybody can get a guaranteed issue hospital indemnity plan. Our home health care plan is 3 or 4 questions, depending on which one you go with. So most of our plans are easy issues, simplified underwriting.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, just to recap that dental, why we want to offer it. Number one, no networks. So those rural areas where dentists aren't accepting networks, you got it there. No networks also means no hassles. Don't have to worry about that dentist. They're paying 80% after that 6-month or year period. Your clients know what they're going to get, what they're going to be reimbursed for. The no inside limits that you made a point of is big too, because that does cap quite a few people on when they can get their procedures done. So just a super simple, super affordable plan that I think everybody needs to have in their quiver of arrows when they're out in the field. So with that, Hunter, I really appreciate your time, my friend. Look forward to maybe kicking one of these off again in person with some of our agents, but you all have a great day and appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. Thanks for having me.